Alrighty, so this is the sixth video I've tried to record due to different issues we've had and technical difficulties for different reasons. So hopefully we're finally ready to go. So this is just drawing you a nice little video on channels, parallel channels particularly. So we can see here this is an uptrend. We've got an uptrend going. It's the daily Nasdaq mini. MNQ. So I'm just going to draw this. When we draw our channels, what we like to do is we use the first point. This is where it begins. The second point up here. And the third point would be this low. So let me draw it for you correctly. It would be this one like that. Now, use the first point. This is the low. The second point is the first high. So from here to here is one move. Then the first pullback from here is here. So 1, 2, 3. We draw this up. If we look at this and see what it's been doing, it pushed up, grinded all the way up, bounced to the midway point a bunch of times, came up to the top of the channel, couldn't break out, and then rejected down to the low of the channel, came back up to the midpoint, lost the channel, reclaimed it, grinded up for a while without ever really pushing off, which is very weak. Usually you'd push off it, right? You'd push off it. You just grinded up here and then eventually fell out. But then we sort of formed a new channel again. It didn't fall lower. What you'd expect it to do if it was going to fall lower. So when we see these channels, we expect the channel to do something like this. Something like this is what we expect, right? For it to be following the trend. But if what happens is we start to get this here, losing the channel, this is very weak. When it comes back up here, we expect to see it reject, not to close above this, not to make a new high. If it makes a new high, then it's basically trending up still. We expect it to come up, make a new lower high, like what I did here. Then after the lower high, we would have expected this to make a new low and maybe sweep, say, like this level, these areas here. And then eventually maybe come back to here. It's going to go lower. But instead we didn't do that. Instead we broke up higher. So then it continued to trend up. So we're going to draw a new up channel. I'm going to go from here to here. Okay, cool. Okay, it's pretty good. I'm going to delete this other one. Okay, we're going to use this current channel here. This is the most relevant one. You can see it's being respected. From the low to the high, down to the low, midway point, low. Tried to get above, couldn't, back to the low, then finally broke up. And it looks like, it does look like we've got another little level of like resistance being built here. Something like that is also happening. Oh, I know why. I'm supposed to go from here to here. Let me fix this. Bingo. And see how by noticing that there's something missing, you can fix it. The first one I drew wasn't quite accurate. That's much better. There to there. Tried to break out. It couldn't. There. Yeah. That's much cleaner, much nicer. Okay, cool. So we can see here it's got this uptrend. See how it started to fall out of the channel here? If this was actually bearish and actually flipping into a short, what we would see is it doing this. Then when it does this, you would want it to reject. Like that, right? And you'd hopefully have it come a bit lower, like come a bit further down, more of a rejection. But it just sort of faked out, then pushed up. So we're still bullish. We're still in an uptrend. Let's add some more data. Okay. Oh, here we go. So again, we're losing the channel. Similar to this time, but this time we sort of moved a bit stronger. We've gone further down out of the channel, a bit further out. And now we're coming back up and we're doing what we said, right? We're coming in, testing the underside. So this parallel channel, this was one support. See support here? Now that we've lost this channel, it's becoming resistance. When we push up against it, we're pushing it from the underside. This purple channel is now becoming resistance. So we pushed up into it. It had a big rejection candle, which to us is a really good sign. Because if it kept pushing up, kept going higher and bent back into the channel, it's probably going to continue trending up again. The fact that it rejected off this really ugly little rejection, shows we're probably now going to go lower. So what we can do is see how this is a high here, and this is a lower high. We can see the market structure is now shifting. High, lower high. Hopefully we'll make another lower high somewhere around here. This is all low, lower low, lower low again. So we're now trending down. So we can look for a zone type setup. When price breaks out of a parallel channel or falls out of a parallel channel, we can take that trade in that direction. So now that's losing this uptrend, potentially losing this uptrend. We can look for a short to get in on this flip of action. So one way to look at it is this move from this low to this low, like that. Maybe even to the absolute high here. But just for now, I'm going to put it to here, this low here. Once it closes below here, which it's about to do, we can wait for it to come back to this midway point and give us a short. And that's because this is the downtrend, this is the last up move that happened. And so we're waiting for it to return to the midway point of that. Okay. And we're going to target. Now, usually I target the low here, but I think we can actually go a lot lower than that. We're going to go to this first low here. We're going to target here. And the next low we could target is down here. There's another low here. So let's wait and see what we end up getting. And whether or not we get an entry. So I'm going to play this. Okay, so we went straight to our target, but I think this was the entry. It came down here and pushed up. Unfortunately, we didn't get our close below here to give us the entry, but it did. I mean, it did come here. Just we went in it. That's fine. So what it did show you though is this push up, this push down, this retest of the parallel channel and the rejection was showing you that it was now losing the channel. So one thing you could do as well, I didn't do it at the time because I don't always take these trades, but it is possible. Is one thing you can do is when you see it rejecting this channel and then it confirms it with this big rejection candle, you can take your short like this. Your stop above this high, your entry on the close of this strong rejection candle to confirm that we are rejecting away from the parallel channel, and then you can put your TP down to this low or this low. So I'm going to put through this low here. Okay, now I didn't actually catch this trade. This is me showing you an example. Let's see what actually plays out. Do we go all the way down there? Yes, there we go. So we hit TP there. Just at the bottom of the thing, we just perfectly tapped it. So you can see this low was targeted here. And this low was targeted here. So when we're taking our take profit, we can look to the left to see which areas are being potentially used as a area of interest. So this area here, you can tell this is where the price came to before it reversed. This area here is where price came to before it reversed. And that's why I put my TP to these areas. So now that price is coming lower, we can see it started to form another channel again. So we can go from this high, all the way down to this low. Okay, so we've got a nice channel coming down here, and this is potentially pushing out here, potentially. So we can see what happens and whether or not we end up getting a new channel forming to then create an uptrend. Let's see. Okay, so we've pushed up. What's kind of cool is we've pushed up strong enough. If you look, that's actually quite a good push out of the channel. It looks to me like we might be reversing, possibly. We might be reversing. And if that is the case and we're becoming bullish, what we do is this. So we use the rectangle tool, find our zone. This was the last down move before price broke out. So this is the breakout move. This was the last down move. This little 3 gray candles here. So if price comes back to this point, I'm going to take a long. I've got a TP here. And I might even try to see if I can go back to this untapped zone, which never got tapped yet. It is a very possible target. So let's see what happens. Oh, okay. So here my price would have entered and we got stopped at almost straight away. So this would have been a negative trade, which is perfectly fine. It looks like to me we're coming back lower, which could mean, for example, if I just readjust this channel, and this is part of the challenge with trading and using channels, is that some of the information is only available or obvious after it's formed. So part of the challenge becomes understanding when you have enough information to actually act on it versus when you're still looking at early data. So here we go. Look at that, respecting nicely. If I adjust this channel, it now looks like we're actually forming this nice little channel here. So if I get to the lows here, maybe I want to take a, okay, now I want to take a long here. Maybe I want to take a long here. So why do I want to take a long here? Because we're using the channel and we can see this channel's been getting respected very cleanly. We're now at the lows. We've just finished a large down move. And if you look here, what's happening is at the edge of the channel, we're getting buying, strong buying happening. This is a nice large candle. So similar to what I said to you up here, where we took this rejection candle, it's the same setup here. We have the selling, really strong selling. We hit our support level, the bottom of this pink thing, and then we get a strong reaction, good buying. We can try taking a trade like this, and we're going to try and go to the other end of the channel, the pink channel over here. Now let's see what happens. We're going to be in the trade now. Oh, okay. So we would have stopped out. Okay, we would have stopped out here, and the trade never actually, it only got to halfway, and then it reversed. So it didn't push to the other side of the channel. So we would have stopped out. So we're down -2 trades so far. Perfectly fine, part of trading. Now what we can see though is price is still trending lower. This is still trending lower. So we're in a bit of a, I guess what you call like a challenge, right? The price at the lows of the support, so you want to be taking a long because we're at the lows, so it's more room for it to go up. But the price is trending lower. So technically, the best time to take a trade is to take a short at the top of the downtrending channel because it's downtrending. But we don't have that option. The price is currently the lows. So we have to make a decision. Do we want to take a trade here, hoping for it to push up? Or do we want to wait perhaps for price to get to up here and then we can short it? My belief is that price has to push up again. We are at the lows, and at the lows, it always makes sense to take a long from the lows, not a short. So I'm going to put my target up to here. That's 4 R to R. I'm targeting it because it looks like it's holding this support and now ready to push up. Let's find out. Oh, here we go. Maybe we're in luck. Boom. I think we're going to make it. Boom. There we go. So then we got stopped out 2 or 3 times before. This trade was worth 4 R to R. So we would now be up, let's say 1 R to R in total. So we're up 1. Okay. And you can see here we're now at the top part of our channel, right? The top part of our channel. So what we could be doing and looking at is potentially, is this going to push out of the channel and break out? In which case we flip into a long? Or is this doing this fake thing where it starts to break out, looks like it's going to break out, so everyone gets sucked into longing, but then it fails, comes back into here, and then gives us a short perhaps? So let's wait and see. Oh, okay, so we did the latter one, right? It came in, faked out, sold off, strong selling, and we did the same thing, right? We come inside, we're back inside the channel now. We confirm that we're back inside the channel by pushing up, failing to break out of the support. This was now becoming our resistance. It's containing us. A really strong rejection is saying, no, we are not. And now we're back into the channel. So let's try and take a short off this. This looks like a strong rejection. It worked for us down here. Let's try and take this and see how far it goes down. Maybe just to this level here. And let's find out. I'm looking at these lows. Boom. So we never hit our stop hit. We came down, tested the resistance again. The resistance still held. Great. All the way down. Bang. Another 2 R to R. So now we're 3 R to R up. Cool. 2 wins in a row. We're getting juicy. This is why taking the trades works. As long as you understand what you're doing and why. Let's see. Okay. We're not in a trade yet. We're waiting. Okay. So if you look now, what's happened with our channel is the price here failed to come all the way to the bottom of the channel. We didn't make a new low by much. By a little bit, but not by much. And we started going sideways. See how we've gotten less and less steep? Before here, we were coming down, up, down, up. This is just only a little bit down. We're almost flattening out. So this makes me start to think we might soon push out and then flip and become bullish. But let's see. Still flat. See, we haven't made a new low. Again, failed to make a new low. I'm going to pause this. If I stretch this channel out, cool. You can see we started to push out, failed to go back in, and now we push out properly. So what's very powerful about this and what shows us perhaps we're now flipping into a bull market is, if I show this to you, so we have now higher lows. Low, higher low, higher low. All the lows are getting higher, and the highs are getting higher, higher, higher. We look like we're now flipping bullishly. So let's now look at this. This is the first or most recent pullback. So see how it's breaking out of this channel. So now we're looking, this is the first pullback zone. It pushes up, it closed above our zone. And remember, our entry is a close above the zone. So we're going to take our trade here from this area. And what I'm going to do to show you a little trick that I really like that helps me a lot, that really helps me is, see how we're looking at this area here, the middle point of this zone. And right nearby we have what I would call a zone within a zone. This little white zone here. And see how it perfectly lines up? The middle of this white zone is actually the middle of our larger zone. So this is probably going to be another area that gets respected. And what I found in my experience is when you have these zones overlapping, it might make you think this is an even stronger area. What tends to happen is the top of this gets bounced on instead. So because price often front runs it and goes not quite to hit it, a little bit ahead of it, the best area is the top of this white rectangle here. So I'm going to put my stop below here, which is the zone. But if you want to be really extra risky, but also higher reward, you can put your stop below this tiny zone. And I found this actually works quite well. You put your TP above here, you stop below here, but you need to have a clear like zone within a zone being respected to do this. Like an advanced technique. So we have both. To me, we have both. This is now ending the downtrend. It's gone sideways for a while, flattened out. Now pushing a bit higher. possibly making an uptrend. This is the first good move in the uptrend. So we're getting the pullback of this first good move. And we're using our entry layered using this advanced technique, the zone within a zone. All right, let's see how this plays out. Oh, okay. So we got entered here. Perfect. So if we came down to here, it never touched our midpoint properly, but it did touch the top of this. So our entry did get triggered. We're now already a good amount up. Our stop didn't get even close to being hit, which is fantastic. Now let's see where we're targeting. What I wanted to show you for this is the first high I'm targeting is this high here, because this is, if you look, a clear high just hanging out that hasn't been wicked through or pushed through. And then the next high or area I target is this one. And the final one is this, which is the beginning of the move of this whole downtrend. And there's a zone here, an untapped zone we're waiting for a short to come back to that it never came back to fill. It's likely this will be another short potentially, and also a good TP, a good place for our long to finish, basically for this to retrace the entire parallel channel move. Okay. Almost there. Boom. First TP hit. Okay. Oh, second TP hit as well. Well, that was fast. So this is the second TP. This got hit. The first TP got hit as well. You probably already know where that is based on the buy position. And this is the last one, this red line. Let's see. Whether it ends up going to this entry position here. And this is also where our short is still waiting. If you remember, we have a short all the way waiting over here. So let's find out. Does our short play out? I'll leave the TP to here. I could try and go all the way down to here. Let's see. This is the previous trade from way before. And I don't like taking trades. I don't like leaving trades open from before. So like if I had an open trade here or an open trade here, I would not want to leave them open. The only difference is, to me, the very, very top of the move. So the very, very beginning of the move. Not all these random moves in between, but the very beginning of the parallel channel. That can often get respected. So let's see whether that is the case. Because this got washed through and pushed through, this got pushed through. These are all like TP areas. But the very beginning of the move can be a reversal area. So let's see. Poof. Okay, bang. Right there, I think we hit it. Yes, so you would have got entered here. And you would have had your TP field. We hit the midpoint to a T. So that was this midpoint from here, the untapped zone. And if you look at it, amazingly, okay. Yeah, it just wicked it. Just barely filled it. Okay, now we come lower. And what ends up happening? Do we hit TP? Down here. Come on, down here. Almost there. Bang. There you hit TP. So that was another 2 RR. I lost count what we're at. This one was 3.5. If you took this all the way to the top, which is very, very like, this is maximum risk, right? You're going the highest TP, the tightest stop. Still pretty good, 7.6 RR. Damn. So there you go. Just some trades you can take using the parallel channel, the breakout of the parallel channel, the market structure shift from a bear market downtrend into an uptrend, and using things like the very beginning of the move. So, for example, when it comes back here, I would look at this area down here, which never got tapped. See how this was like the beginning of this uptrend, this massive uptrend here that happened. This was the beginning of it. It never got tapped, that very bullish move. So I would possibly be waiting for a short, long down here. Let me just see really quick if it actually ends up going there. You might be a while. I'm just curious. And while that happens, you can see here another channel. When it loses channel like that, now my downtrend. Well, my downtrend could be wrong. It's still uptrending. It's still higher highs. Yeah. Okay, it might not come back to my area. Beautiful. Ah, that's fine. We're now live, but you can see this worked. I was able to show you the examples. Hopefully this helped. Hopefully the fucking video worked. Love and peace.